to today's session. It's a session that we started this year. It's a series of eh, programs that we started this year addressing the business interested people in France, people who are doing business, people who are interested in business, people who have future plans to do business. So, and we have had series of sessions like this where we interact, discuss issues that concern this group of people. In fact, um, primarily we're targeting people who are doing business or who want to invest in business. So, investors and business people. And this is not just a random event. It was born out of the Friends of Nigeria, an organization that looks out for the interest of Nigerians in France and provides all the available resources to support Nigerians in France. And recently the network decided to create committees where they can kind of address critical issues that Nigerians may be facing. And one of the committees that came out of that was the business committee. And the business committee was created with the intention to serve, provide resources, and kind of pay attention to the needs of Nigerians in France who have businesses or who have business interests. And of course, the network is expanding beyond France to other parts of Europe. But so far, the committee is currently very active in France. And our major target is to raise entrepreneurs within France and, of course, across Europe who will be major economic players in France and who can also pay attention to the issues that businesses face in Nigeria and then find ways to kind of transfer funds, knowledge, partner with people, and also even collaborate with people with businesses in Europe as well. So it's a huge network that we're looking to grow to the extent where we can just call on one of us to, if there's somebody who needs business, if there are Nigerians who need internships, we can just call on anybody on the network and you can be sure that there's somebody who will be able to meet those needs. Um, I think it's a very important movement that we are in, and I count myself privileged to be part of it. I see lots of countries, Indians, Chinese, who have also these sorts of small communities where they support themselves. Um, in my school, for example, where I'm doing my PhD, there's this group of Chinese students, and they have this lady that brings them, nice Chinese food, and they don't. The lady is not like on the internet or something. They just do some kind of prepares the food, brings it to them. She's not even regulated, but that's the extent to which these people have sort of built their community to the point where even if you are not regulated, if you know, they know that you're selling very good quality Chinese food, they don't care. They just organize themselves. You can't even be part of the group because they speak Chinese on the group, so you can't even join. They kind of select themselves into the group and patronize themselves. I think it's something that we too can replicate. We have lots of us who come here to school and then after that they need internship. I mean, we are too entrepreneurial for our own people not to have opportunities like this. And of course, Nigerians are known to hustle. They do business. They do it very well. So it is in this spirit that we felt we might be able to make an impact when we pursue programs, pursue initiatives that can help us share knowledge, learn from one another, and make ourselves relevant even in the diaspora. So it's on this note that we launched a lot of programs, one of which is owning a business as a professional, and we'll be doing a third part of it. In case you missed the first two parts, we have the recordings and they will soon be made available. We just want to be sure that the recordings comply with necessary guidelines and we'll also get appropriate permissions from all the people who participated in the recordings. So that's why they are not yet publicly available. But in due time, they'll be made available because I've got questions around um, are those videos available when you have access to them, etc. So don't worry, those videos are going to be made available and will be shared on the network um, community groups, community chat groups. So we have done a first part of this series, and we kind of looked at alternatives and legal issues concerning registering the business. We have done a second part where we did A to Z of business registration, and building was available to facilitate, and lots of people can attest to the fact that that session was a hit. In fact, all the sessions have been hits, and we don't expect anything less from this third part where we're talking about raising funds for your business. I can see lots of entrepreneurs already on the call, and I know these people are coming to see, how do we raise money? A lot of us have businesses, and we're at the stage where we want to grow, we want to expand. And we have no other but Ayola of Coolbox. So he's here to tell us how to raise Coolbox, or rather, how he raised Coolbox for Coolbox. So, I mean, it's going to be an exciting event. And we also have our very own Ajibola. Ajibola is also in the restaurant business. He is well invested in it. He has lots of French partners, and he'll be sharing with us how he's raising funds and how he's finding partners. Because I think local partnership is extremely vital for whatever business, whatever business we're doing in a foreign land. So, but before we start, all right, I would like to read out very quickly the agenda for the day. It's not in some kind of, but we have it. So you'd have 2 minutes, each of our speakers. Or maybe before we do that, can we just take, quick comments from the speakers, two of them, Ayola and Ajibola, and then I'll read out the profile, and then you'd have 20 minutes each to discuss, and then pretty much just share your thoughts on raising funds in foreign markets, especially France, and then share your experience how you did raise funds. So maybe just take 2 minutes or so to just make a shout out to us, and then we can start up properly. Ajibola, you can go first.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello to everybody at home. My name is Ajibola, as he has rightly said, and I'm in the hospitality business. So basically, no business can actually run without getting your finances right. It is just not going to happen. Even though we are in a much more advanced country where things are clear, but even the clearer they are, the more cumbersome it is. France is well known all over the world for being very, very bureaucratic in terms of documentation. In terms of my experience in getting funds, so basically, I don't help people to get funds and to make things happen like Ayola probably does. For me, it was more or less focused on the business I was in with my partners. We went to CCI, we went to BPI France, and we were able to get, even though it was during COVID session last year and it was difficult, but we were able to get a substantial amount of money, over 50,000 euros as a grant to start our Afropin restaurant in Lyon. And the restaurant is actually going to be the only restaurant in the Rhone area serving even Nigerian food, apart from other food as well. Myself, I am the head of the project. I'm also the head chef, but I'm really in the kitchen. I'm more on the business part of it. But yeah, I'll be giving more insight into what I have for you today and what I do in France and how I go about it. Thank you.
You know, it makes me feel bad that you are the head chef and we're having an online meeting. Wouldn't it be nice that we just get something from your company to, test whether these Nigerian guys are actually doing the thing the way we expect. But thank you so much, Ajibola. So grateful to have you on the call today to share your experience. Ayola Dominic, please go.
Hi, everyone. Once again, my name is Ayola Dominic. Thank you very much again for giving me the opportunity to come and share my experience with you. I think I'll leave my conversation still at the end when I'm supposed to talk. I'll make it extremely interactive, so it's going to be it's going to be conversational. So yeah, so if you have any question, please get them ready. If you want to have an idea of what we do, you can just probably Google Koolbox, Kolboks. So probably you have a lot of questions before it gets to my session. I'll be more than happy to share my experience and answer all your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I also look forward to the session. So I would go straight and read the profiles of our speakers, and then we just jump right in. Ajibola Faniyi is a business project developer, having 12 years experience across human resource management, general business administration, and general management, client service, accounting, and marketing. Ajibola is a lifetime learner with experience and versatility acquired from living, studying, and working for over 10 years in the UK, Ghana, and France, bringing about appreciation for the uniqueness in diversity. Before coming to France, Ajibola helped develop and worked as the country manager and executive director of a prominent marketing company in Ghana that has over 10,000 clients, where he remained on the board of directors till today. Ajibola is a graduate of West London College, United Kingdom, United Kingdom, then Valley View University, Ghana, and Swiss Hospitality School, where he did his MBA in hospitality management. He has worked in hotels and restaurant projects across Cancun, Mexico, Dubai, Tunis, Tunisia, and in France with the famous Paul Bocuse restaurant. If I didn't get that right, please correct me. Ajibola is currently the project lead and associate partner of Chopfind, an Afroprint restaurant project based in the Lyon area. He's also the managing partner of Livelihood Empire, France. Ajibola, the floor is yours. I have my notes here, and I am taking copious notes. Please, for our participants, we'll be sharing a link where you can post questions so that at the end of it, they'll be able to take your questions. So once Ajibola is done, I also introduce Ayola, and then once it's done, we now take questions from everyone. So Ajibola, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. So for me, it's going to be more of theory meet practical. Just a minute.
Oh, sorry to say, you have 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so I hope everybody can see my screen.
No, let me stop sharing. I think that's the problem. Okay.
It's fine now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to be talking about getting funding and also how to get partners in France. And it doesn't essentially, especially the partner one, is not only limited to France, it cut across the whole globe depending on where you find yourself. First, disclaimer, the report is to give guidance. So I would still employ everybody to get in contact with professionals, lawyers, accountants, bank advisors who can give more up-to-date information. And also it's good for everybody to keep themselves updated because the rules and policies, they change. For student permit holders, I know FON, we have a lot of students, and some of them, they clamor to know what happens, I mean, in respect to them doing business in France. So tough luck. You are not allowed to start a company until you have your APS, which you get after you finish your master's. But the good thing is you can start developing your business model. You have a lot of time to put things on paper, to get your ideas on paper, and then get things moving. Likewise, in France, there are about 30 projects within the PPIT. So they are on 30 different campuses. You can check with your school. If most time it's on the Grand École, but some schools, universities across the country, they have as well. And so the first thing is obviously you have to have your business plan if you want to get finance in France. Without a business plan, you have not even started, because anywhere you go, you need it. Then you need to draw up a detailed budget. And to do this, you can get recommendations on the APC's website. Likewise, you need to produce a cash flow forecast, that's the provision financier. And for me, it's good to do 3 cash flows. I did a BBA in accounting, so I like accounts. I think it's good to have 3. You have a realistic cash flow, and then you have some kind of projected cash flow, which is more optimistic. And then you have the if the things go bad cash flow, like if the worst case comes to pass, what is going to happen? And then legal structure, I know we've been taking through this, micro enterprise, what happens if you want to go as a company or as a sole trader. And strict regulations, so if you want to practice as an accountant, a lawyer, if you want to be an artisan, there are strict regulations, so you cannot just do what you want. You need to check, so you can check on BPI France creation website. And to research a company name, so that can be checked on the INPI website to see if your company name can be accepted. So now we are going to go quickly through the financing of business. Since we have a more professional person within us to discuss today, so I'm just going to go through this as quick as I can. Personal savings, so obviously that is the first place we should look at. What do we have? What have you saved over the months or years? And also thanks to the share saving account. So if you are in France and you have some shares that you are putting by the side, normally you cannot take it before 5 years, else you might the account might be cancelled. But if you need it to be open to open a business, then you can take it. Likewise, the épargne logement, which is like a savings to buy a house, you can take money out of it to fund your business and you will not be penalized. For banks, so the obvious options, prêt à la création entreprise, up to 7,000 euros, and the business loan, which is the prêt bancaire aux entreprises. Then there is also Découvert, and you can also try and employ the services of a financial consultant if possible before you go to the bank. That way you know where you stand, and then the financial consultant can actually put you through how to go about things. So ADI, it's one of the many agencies that work with the French government. So they are mostly for the self-employed, the micro-entrepreneur, job seeker, student, and the people who are of low income. And you can get aid up to 10,000 euros. And the repayment plan is 6 to 36 months. And the rate is very low compared to what you would get in the bank. Likewise, they also have the Je deviens entrepreneur, which is more like a 1 to 2 weeks certificate course that you can get. And there is a good plan negotiated. So the ADI, they actually have a lot of partners. They have partners, suppliers, and all that, who they can negotiate with them on your behalf to get good rate as well. The European Union also has the Enterprise Europe Network. So they use the European Investment Bank, the European Investment Fund, and the different member states. they use them to get through to the intermediaries who then disburse the funds to you. So when you go to your bank, it is not all kind of funds that is the bank that is actually giving you directly. Some of them are from the EU, which they disburse through the banks. In France, if you want to know about all the grants available, there are more than 6,000 of them. This is the website to go. There is a document which would be probably shared later on. It's going to be a PDF with all the information, the links and everything in it, but that will be shared by the organizers later on. There's also the Réseau Entreprendre. So it's also available to job seekers, low-income people, people who are trying to enter the market, and they need the financing 0% loan and to benefit from also long-term support. So they get mentorship, sponsorship up to 3 years. There's that for Pôle Emploi as well. So Pôle Emploi, they have two, and it's ACRE, which is assistance to business creator or buyers. And there's also the ACK, which is to receive unemployment benefit in form of cap. So they give you in bulk the unemployment benefit and you use it in form of capital. Also from Direct, you can get the NAC, which is to benefit from support for the creation of or takeover of a business. And it's through the PEAR course. Basically, this is more regionalized. So it is more or less you going to the regional office of Direct to get more information on that. Likewise, there are ECHO grants. So basically, these are for projects that are because of the green vibe that we have nowadays. So the French government, the EU, and the regional government, they are putting more money in eco-sustainable products. So if you have an innovative product that or innovative service that is eco in nature, you can get some funding through this. Also for your research, development, and innovation grant, there is what we call the research tax credit. So they give you tax credit up to 30% of your annual research expenses. And there's the innovation fund. So this started in January 2018, and the fund is actually 10 billion and is targeting companies that will be eligible for large amount of aid. So if there are companies that might be able to get big money, this is where they should go to fund their innovations. There's also the innovation development loan. Like I said, there will be a more comprehensive PDF that will be said if for anybody who would like to actually go through some of these things. The Digital Ambition Fund, so it's targeting companies with high growth potential. So software, investment area, software, internet, AI, new digital, and all that. And it's between 1 to 10 million euros. There is the tax relief for innovative new companies. So you get tax relief for a long time, depending on the discussion they have with you and depending on whether they accept your project. And this grant is available till the end of December 2022. There's also the innovation tax credit as well, which is only for SMEs, and the base of is capped at 400,000 per year per company. For training, so because France, they understand that they have to keep training and developing.
I need to use it. I don't have anything at all in that house.
They have to keep. Yeah, they have to keep training their staff. So there are training allowances given to the staff, and this is coming from the French government. So the employer is able to train, maybe if you need somebody to learn how to speak English, because everybody speaks English now. And if you need to teach them how to drive a particular kind of vehicle, there is a grant for it, which is paid, which is reimbursed to the employer. There's a pre-recruitment training. So to train before you recruit to train, they give you some grant. There is the industrial agreement for training through research. So when you hire a PhD holder, they give you some money for hiring such person. Now we have venture capital. These are like companies which are set up either publicly or privately. And basically what they do is they take business proposals, they scrutinize it. If they feel like this is something that is workable, then they put money in, they invest in it. And this, there will be some kind of agreement between the venture capital investment company and the brain behind the proposal. We also have business angels. They are cut across the whole of France, and a lot of times they are regionalized, or sometimes they are even specific to schools. So if you see, they have the Femme Business Angel. This is the biggest female-dominated business angel in Europe, not just in France. The Angel Santé, that is more to the health. So if you have an innovative health related project, this is where to go to. Likewise, there is INSA, there is Cash, the school, there is Auvergne Business Angel as well. And we have crowdfunding. So crowdfunding, basically it's where people come together, like you put your project out there. So there's a platform where you can put your project and then you get funding for it. And last year there was over €1 billion, which was collected through that crowdfunding. It funded 115,000 projects. These are some of the websites and links and agencies that you can go through. A lot of time, things are not one way, so you need to be careful and you need to know where to go so that you don't waste a lot of time. Now I'll go to finding business partners. At your own time, I wish I had some time. I would have taken us through this compatibility test. It's very good. I've done it myself several times and I've done it for other people as well. When you have time, you can go through it. So it basically allows you to know which of these zodiac signs you represent, depending on your trade. And this allows you to also know the kind of partner for you to get. So it's more like you knowing yourself and also being able to know who to bring into your fold. So where to find the dream partner? Your school. For myself, it was through my school that I got my partner. So I was in my final year and I was looking for something more long-term, and I met with my career advisor and we discussed, and knowing my CV already and what I had wanted to do, knowing that I just don't want to sit in one place, I need something that is dynamic. So she got me in contact with my current partners. We had discussions and they weren't too sure. My French wasn't so great, but they saw the zeal. They saw that I know what I want to do, and they were also willing to take a chance with me. And I think it has worked well. So your school is a good place to start because they know you very well and they already have the contact. Also your professional network. So if you've worked, if you've had clients before, anything you network yourself. We also have what we call the business brokers. So basically what they do is they help people broker business.
Alpha, you're not there, you're not on the group.
Sorry, 1 second, sorry.
Can I continue? Okay. We have the partner matching website as well. So we have a lot of matching websites, Co-Founder Lab, Power Links. You can go there. It's like a dating website, but this time around to search for partners, business partners. And you can go there and meet like-minded people. You put your location and then you get people who are around you and you probably have discussion and you never know what could happen. The skills to have, be very specific. So if you are going to get funding, if you are meeting partners, be specific, let them know what you want and let them see the passion for what you want. Be brief, so don't give them too many information, but go straight to the point, give them the information that is necessary. Then it's good to have a mentor. If you cannot get a mentor among your lecturers, get a mentor that is in a professional setting. who can help you, because they can push you in the right direction in terms of funding or in terms of getting the right partners. Also, be a strong networker. So network yourself to people. FON is there to network yourself and get yourself involved in whatever is happening around you. Lastly, I would just say go for it, and it should work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ajibola. Please, it is in order that we clap, because this is a lot of content that just came out. There are lots of resources that I saw you dish out, and I was even trying to like make notes, but I mean, there were so much, and it didn't actually make any sense that I made notes. So I will just ask for your slides, and then we'll share with everyone.
Yeah.
There are lots of stuff there. There are lots of stuff that even go beyond business. I mean, there are opportunities already for people who I already saw like opportunities that businesses can use to hire PhDs like me or PhD students like me. When we're done, I would just be collecting grants. That's beautiful. So um, I think it's a really nice session. I would rather title it an encyclopedia of fund sources. So it is something that I'm happy you are willing to share. So we just share with everyone. And once this video is available, we'll also share with people so that they can make reference to this, because these are all opportunities that when you need them, you want to be able to reach out to them and exhaust all your options. Thank you so much for doing the work to put the research together to collect all these different information sources. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everyone on this call appreciates it as well. And then we'll quickly move to our next speaker, Ayola Dominic. I will read his profile right away. Ayola Dominic is the co-founder and CEO of Coolbox. Ayola grew up in Nigeria, where he completed his Bachelor of Pharmacy, then worked as a territory sales manager of AstraZeneca. He moved to France to complete a master's in entrepreneurship and business development at EDHEC before serving as the director of operations, MEA. I would assume that's Middle East and Asia, for Servier, an international pharmaceutical company with a presence in 150 countries. During his stint as Servier, Ayola initiated and led one of the biggest acquisitions in the pharma industry in West Africa, acquisition Swiffer Pharma Nigeria. Ayola is currently working on setting up a local assembly for his refrigeration company in Nigeria. We are excited, Ayola, for that you chose to be part of this event for today, and we welcome you to share your thoughts, to share your experience, and from here we can learn how to raise Coolbox for our business. So Ayola, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, everyone. First of all, I would like to say thank you, but before I go ahead, I know I have just 20 minutes, so I'll try and make it very short. Just 1 minute, because I want to share as well, but something really brief. Just a minute. So, since we are all Nigerians, I believe most of us are Nigerians, because I know I invited some of my colleagues. Some of them are not Nigerians, but I believe they would understand what I'm trying to do. Am I audible? Just to be sure.
Yes, you are.
Great.
Just to remind the participants, we have a link where we are collecting all the questions. So please use the link. We'll share the link again, just in case you missed it, or you just joined after we posted it the other time.
Can everyone see my screen?
Angelina, the cool my temperature. The call I go from the river, and I go for the young and in the bar. So now me you go forever.
So first of all, thank you very much once again. I decided to use this intro because there's something very particular about all of us right now. And the fact that no matter where we come from, no matter who you are, no matter what color it is you are, we all one color in Nigeria definitely, that the sky is always the limit. At least we all remember, I don't know if you know about Wizkid when it started, like in Surulere. I mean, these are people you can identify with if you stay in Lagos. You talk about Shita Bay, you talk about Burna Boy. These guys went from nothing to where they are today. And for me, I think that represents the true spirit of a Nigerian. And that's why I decided to start my presentation with these two boys that came from nothing to be who they are today. They are entrepreneurs in their own rights. Definitely it's their talents that speak for them. And today, I mean, their last major achievement was the Grammy collection, which obviously makes all of us proud to be Nigerians. So I'll quickly go on to my presentation, which is
Sorry, Ayala. Is there a way you can speak up a little bit?
Okay.
I can hear you very well. And there are some comments already that it would be nice if you can amplify your voice a little bit more.
Okay, I'll try my best. Let me see if it's my connection. So did I lose you? Did you understand everything I said earlier, or I have to repeat myself?
No, just go on. I heard you, but it was a little bit more faint, so I had to raise the volume of mine.
Great. So perhaps my connection. So I would share one or two things. First of all, thank you very much once again, Friends of Nigeria, for inviting me. Mr. Jibola, that was an amazing presentation. I mean, the time you have taken to actually identify all those opportunities, I think it's great. We do identify with some of them. Some of them we've already applied for, and some of them we got. I would definitely just touch on a few. I'm trying to look at the time so I don't overspill the time. As I said, it's going to be very conversational. I'll make it as short as possible. So I think I have one of the co-founders, or two of them, online right now, Deborah Gale and Natalie Casey. So I believe both of them were invited as well, just in case they might want to drop one or two words. And I know they are actually online with me today. So I think Mr. Jibola said almost everything. I don't think there's anything that is left unsaid. I was just chipping one or two things that I feel that we can learn from as well. So first of all, I would share with you what we do, because I think it's important, because that's the foundation. So I'll quickly share my screen so you have an idea of who we are and what we do and what we plan to do in the future. So as they mentioned, we're Coolbox. And one thing that I really like that resonated with me with what Ajibola said is, first of all, of course, identifying who to work with. I mean, you have to first of all understand the fact that you're in a foreign land. And there's only one thing that can set you apart. One is the language. You definitely need to understand the language. If you don't understand the language, you have to look for partners that understand the language and that will be able to see you through your plans and your ideas. I think I was a bit fortunate because I worked before I started my company, so I think it's a bit different. But definitely I would share my experiences, and I'm trying to look at the time so that I don't overshoot the time. So I'll just tell you a bit of what we do. So we're Coolbox. If you can see my screen, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I assume it's
yes,
same for everyone. I can see your screen.
Great. So our mission is to make refrigeration affordable and accessible to everyone. So we started in the year 2019. So I just wanted to give you an idea of the grants that we got along the way, or the funds we raised along the way. And probably if you have questions on how we did it, please let me know. So we were founded in 2018. Then we started with a cooler, which was sold in over 70 stores globally. Fortunately, we got an order from Carrefour. We had an order from Auchan for this innovative cooler. But then we thought that, okay, we need to improve what we're doing. We need to figure out how we're going to improve the offering. And then we did the research and we shared it amongst all those people that bought Coolbox coolers. And we asked them, okay, guys, yeah, I know you love this object, but what would you want to see next? Unfortunately, they all came back. About 80% of them said they would like to have a product that can run autonomously without being charged for a long time. And that was when we started thinking. And the only thing that came to mind then was solar. So working through what we got as a feedback from our people, we created another product called the Coolbox version 3. But then, being a pharmacist, understanding my background, know where I come from originally, I thought about it that this, yes, is a solution to keep drinks, but clearly it's a greater solution for people that need it the most. There are a number of people that today do not have access to refrigeration. And here we have something in our hands which can be used for vaccine storage. We can help the cold chain storage problem that we have in emerging markets. And that was how we pivoted. 2020, we pivoted. We started with our Coolbox fridges. Fortunately, I was at the FON event as well with the ambassador, and that was one of the first places where we unveiled, was an FON event that we unveiled the Coolbox refrigerators and the Coolbox freezers. So in 2020, we created the Coolbox freezer, which obviously is solar, and I'll tell you more about how it works as we go through, thanks to our research engineers. So we got incubated with BASE Switzerland. BASE, it's an enterprise sorry, my French in English. It's a company in Switzerland, and they are a United Nations affiliate. So what they do is they help with what we call the cooling as a service. In 2020, we signed one of the biggest pilots for our own institution. Pilots with a company called PEG Africa. They have about 1,000 staff spread across 4 different countries, and about 130,000 solar home subscribers. That is a massive number. By the same year, 2020, we got a grant, an award, which I'll talk more about when you ask your questions. This is about 80K. It's from Energy for Access from the UK. By September, we got another grant, which is another award. This is PRIO grant. And this is obviously during the crisis, the lockdown. And it's all about encouraging market women that lost a lot of fish during the era of lockdown because they saw a decrease in traffic. They saw a decrease in traffic to their stores. By 2020 of the same year, we launched a pilot with Delta State because our product can be used as well for vaccine storage, medical purposes, and I'll tell you what this product is all about. And currently, Schneider Electric is testing our products in Congo because they would like to sign a partnership agreement with us, a commercial partnership agreement with us. And if this goes out, well, that means you have Coolbox and Schneider Electric co-branded together. And just to let you know, again, this deal was actually gotten at the last conference we had with FON. That was where we had a meeting with Schneider Electric. That was our first time of getting in touch with Schneider Electric for this project. So FON, thank you very much for this opportunity. It was at that point that we met the Global Business Development Manager for Schneider Electric. So in the WHO, so currently we're finalizing our WHO certification so that all our vaccine freezers will be WHO certified. So what did we create? I won't bore you too much with all this because the main slide is what you've seen, the grants that we got. A couple of other fun things that I talk about when you ask about them. So what we created is a product that solves 3 major problems: wastage of food and medicines, unaffordability. In Africa or Nigeria, you know that when you have a refrigerator, you need to buy a generator, then you need to buy fuel, and then you have to spend every week or every month to ensure that your product works. That's a huge problem. And thirdly, most of the products that are used in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, they are second-hand, and they use refrigerants that are extremely dangerous to the atmosphere. So what did we do? Another thing you need to know that in Europe, I'm sure every house, almost all your flats have refrigerators. As compared to Nigeria, you have only 17% of sub-Saharan Africans that have access to refrigeration. So that means there's a whooping 83% opportunity in sub-Saharan Africa for refrigerators. And you can see we even have more television in sub-Saharan Africa than refrigerators. So what did we create? We created that product, which I told you about right now, that gives us the opportunity to be able to store energy in the form of ice rather than in batteries. So it gives you 24-hour refrigeration thanks to the water and the sun, which is natural, which is very abundant in Africa. We are able to eliminate the huge upfront costs. That is when you want to buy a refrigerator, buy a generator, you don't need to do that again. Now we've eliminated the upfront cost. All you have to do is pay as you go. Cooling as a service. I'll talk about that. And of course, we use water and natural sun as a refrigerant. And so therefore, we are more environmentally friendly. And that is what the world is talking about. If you know the world is going green at the moment, and it's absolutely important that everything we do, particularly when you want to fundraise, if you have the opportunity to put a green component into whatever you do, the opportunity is yours at this moment as we speak. So what did we create exactly? This is something you could see. Through this is pretty easy. Normally when you have a typical refrigerator or an appliance, what happens, or solar appliance, you have the sun, and then you have the solar panels, you have the battery, and then you have the refrigerator or the cabinet. So a lot of times in a typical off-grid environment, you have the sun heating the solar panel, converting into electricity, stored in the battery, then the energy from the battery is passed on to the refrigerator to keep it cold. In CoolBox case, we flipped it around. So rather than having 3 components, you have only 2 components. That is the solar panel and the refrigerator. So your question is, how does this work? How do you store energy? So during the daytime, when you have the sun heats the solar panel, it's being converted to electricity. When that is being converted to electricity, it makes ice. Electricity is passed on to the refrigerator cabinet directly. Ice is being made in these compartments during the day. So during the day, you have this compartment and some other compartments that have been built into the refrigerator to make ice. So during the day, when you have the sun, the solar panel converts into electricity, and the electricity drives the compressor in the refrigerator, and you make ice during the day. And at night, when there is no more sun, when normally you are supposed to store energy in the battery, energy is stored in those compartments, so that the next day, this ice that has been made keeps the product cool, and that goes on for the next 4 days. And that's why we say it can last up to 4 days. As I say, it can last up to 4 days even without the sun. Why? Because you have the opportunity to be able to store energy in form of ice. And thankfully, all of us are majorly Nigerians. You understand that when there's no power in Nigeria, there's no power. Every opportunity to save energy is what you want to go for. And so what makes this unique, and how are we able to do this? So you have the ice battery technology, which is this ice battery I just explained to you about. The cooling as a service, opportunity to be able to pay in installments. So we have integrated in our refrigerator a technology that allows you to pay in monthly, weekly, or even daily installments. So all you need to do is just type in your button and your product to be activated for the number of days that you want it to work for. Another beautiful thing about our product is today it has an insulation of about 10.5 centimeters thick, which is about twice as thick as every average freezer. So that's why you are able to keep things cold for a longer period of time, because we understand that this is all this was built with Africa in mind, with our context in mind, with emerging market in mind, because when there's no energy, there's no energy. So you can also switch from the AC to DC, that is from solar to electricity automatically. Then, of course, like I keep saying, I'm a Nigerian, I understand the challenges we have. When there's no power, again, there's no power. So what we did was we integrated in our refrigerator USB ports and LED bulb, 10-meter LED bulb light, so that you can actually plug your USB LED lights to your refrigerator and you can use it in your office. You can use it in your store. You can use it you can use it in your kitchen if you need electricity. And of course, it can be used either as a refrigerator and as a freezer. So this is an example in Ijora Fish Market where our freezers are being installed. This is one of my favorite pictures. You can see the women pretty excited, 2 women sitting down excited, and then the other one a bit skeptical, like, is this really gonna work? Are you sure you can can make ice with the sun? But I'm happy to tell you now, as I speak to you, in Ijora Fish Market in Lagos, we have nothing less than about 30 of our refrigerators working actively well in Ijora Fish Market. So one of the things I think you need to know as well is the opportunity in the healthcare space, particularly with the COVID. A lot of pharmacies are not able to, we see a lot of opportunity in the healthcare space because of the COVID vaccine, which definitely needs to be taken by everyone, hopefully. And therefore, a lot of healthcare facilities in Nigeria that have challenges with electricity will be given the opportunity to own a solar off-grid CareBox vaccine refrigerator that they can pay for in monthly installments, or they can pay as a service. So that is an example of our team. That's a picture of them on the market, where they go to marketplaces in the Ijora Fish Market to talk about our stuff. So I will just show you. So currently, where do we sell? Globally, we are currently in, we have distributors in about 9 different countries as we speak. So we have in Nigeria, Senegal, Mali, Papua Guinea, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Togo. As you can see our footprint, this is where you have all CoolBox freezers currently working, and you can access them through our database, through our data behind. And the beautiful thing is we're solving a real problem, which is refrigeration. And we want to solve that problem also in East Africa in the next 3 to 5 years. We want to solve the same problem as well in the next 5 to 10 years in Latin America, China, and in India. So basically, that is all. I will just show you a picture. Okay, that's the team. It's not really updated, but so that is me, that is the co-founder, and those are the other engineers that assisted with the work. So this is what the product looks like. This is a small size. For all those that remember the CoolBox cooler, it was just like we took the CoolBox cooler, took some great benefits from the CoolBox cooler that we started with, and we improved on them, and we came up with the CoolBox refrigerator. So just to go ahead, I think I'm trying to go to the next page. Yeah. So this is, and that's not, sorry about that. So this is the ice batteries that I showed you earlier. And you can see the thickness of the refrigerator. Let me show you. You can see the thickness, as thick as it were. So you have the ice batteries here, and then you have the normal freezer probably would have stopped here, but then you have it thick, you have it much more thicker. So basically that is what we do, and that is the journey so far. If you have any question relating to our products, relating to how we got funds, how we got here, how we started, please feel free to ask. As you can see, a lot of funds has gone into it. Mr. Ajibola had shared a lot of details that are very important for early stage, for people that are just about to start. We've been there, but we are in another phase, which is more like scaling. So clearly, if you want to ask questions regarding scaling, but all this information that you have earlier regarding BPI's opportunity with 30,000 euros, 50,000 with CCI, those are very open. I'm sure Mr. Ajibola can assist you with that. But when you want to scale, when you, which is a bit later stage, that's where we are. We've gone past that stage. We're at the point of scaling or transition to scale, I would say. So of course that demands another type of fund. But I would tell everyone that Pôle Emploi, I'll stop sharing now. Pôle Emploi is our #1, is your first, normally if you worked in France before, Pôle Emploi will be your #1 business angel. Because for everyone here, I was able to work for close to 2 years without having to sweat it, if you know what I mean. So, and thanks to Pôle Emploi, and that's one of the benefits we get here that we probably never get at home. So I think that we should take advantage of. However, if you've never worked in France before and you want to take advantage of this, I think like Mr. Ajibola said, first thing would be to understand all those things he has shared with you. I mean, know who exactly you can talk to, how you can talk to them. There are a lot of opportunities if you have the right idea. I can assure you that if I was going to be in Nigeria, perhaps, apparently, I want to be that it's going to be a bit harder. I'll be very sincere. It might be way harder than being in France. Harder mean getting funds. Harder mean you having an idea, you being able to think about it, and then you being able to bring it to market. You know, these are things that will take a lot of time. I have very brilliant guys in Nigeria, smart dudes, but you know, the time idea to market is really long. But here, if you have the right people, you have the right friends, and like I said, if you click well with your partners, in the next, 3 months, 6 months, you're done with your product development, you're ready to go to market. Not necessarily go to market, start piloting, you know, because you have internet, you have the resource, which we hardly have in Nigeria because you need to spend a lot of money and there's no power. So, those are things that you have to think about. So I think it's a bit easier being here. I can remember my first experience here with this funding. One of the first fundings we got was France Active. I'm not sure Mr. Jibola mentioned that. Maybe you want to include that. It's called France Active, FRANCE-ACTIVE. That really helped us. We got a BPI funding as well. The BPI funding was around 30K for assurance inspection. That's for exporting products because our products was majorly for exports. So we got that, and we're still talking to BPI. There are a lot of opportunities with BPI. Just go on the website like you did, share. You see a lot that fits into your own domain, because I can't tell you, because we're in the green sector, and right now green is hot. Green is the new black, if you understand what I mean. So for opportunities in fundraising for climate change, it's absolutely enormous right now. So if you're in the green sector, or if you're in any kind of business, if you can think about the green aspect of it, you might be lucky to be able to touch on some funds that ordinarily you wouldn't have been able to touch on. So for number one, if you worked before in France, opportunity is, if you really want to take a go at it. I took a big bet because initially when we started Coolbox, I was still working with Serbia. Then I made up my mind that, man, I think I don't want to work with anybody again. What I've done for people in Africa, I think I can do it for myself. And then I started with my colleague, Deborah, and then we started growing the team gradually. Today we are about, like you can see, we're in 9 countries. We have about 22, 23 staff across. So so we're still growing. Right now we're closing another round of about $2.1 million in the next couple of days. So what that means is we have to expand and we have to move fast. So I don't know if I left anything out. I know I can talk a lot. If you leave me, I probably will go to tomorrow morning. So I'll let people ask questions. Please, if there's anything that's not clear about the product, about how we've done it, and how you think you can do it, please feel free. I just want you to know one thing: no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, it's all about your idea, it's all about your mindset. If you think you can't do it, trust me, you will never do it. As you can see right behind me, I have James Bond. One thing I know is that he never dies. Have you seen James Bond die before? James Bond doesn't die, man. And that's one of the reasons why I respect the dude, man. And I always have that back of my mind. No matter what we do, it goes through stress, it goes through everything you can think about in life. But trust me, as an agent, he never dies. Even though we know they're making it up. So that's who we are, man. In James Bond, we are actors and we never die. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Well, thank you so much. It was a really, really insightful session. First, I thought I should comment on you're not mentioning that your stint as a DJ, because that's where you started from. That was really lovely. Thank you so much. It's actually also very inspiring. I'm actually very excited given that with the fact that you developed a product in France and you had the local market in mind. I think that's really huge. And if a lot of Nigerians abroad are tapping into opportunities to do products, create products that address issues back home, I think over time would actually solve a lot of the problems that we complain to the government about today. Like who complain about power now, given the fact that they have a freezer that can work without power? These are all solutions that are in our minds. And once we begin to tap into the power of our mind and the experience from people like you who have done it, then I see that there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of opportunity to do great things for our dear country, even from outside. Wow, I can't really thank you enough for the session. I really enjoyed it personally. And so I would open the floor for questions. Thanks, Shagun. Yeah, we have a couple of questions already. How do I? Okay, so I'll read the questions. Then, depending on who the question is for, then the person will take the question. So the first question says, please, can you share the slides with us? Yes, the slides will be shared as soon as we're done. I know that, there are lots of things you need to draw from the slide, so we'll make them available as soon as we're done. Then the second question is for both of you, Ajibola and Ayola. Okay. Did you experience any racial bias in raising funds? If yes, how did you overcome it? Maybe Ajibola can go first, then Ayola.
Okay, so in my case, my 4 partners, they are all French, but they are also Black. So they are originally from Cameroon, although they were born in France. So I cannot really say that we experienced racial bias because we all went with the same blackface. But I think if you have a good product and you are confident in what you got and you've done your own work, you wouldn't have that kind of problem. Even if there's someone with a racial bias towards you, they wouldn't show it as long as you are also comforting yourself.
Okay, thank you so much, Ajibola. Ayola, you want to share some thoughts on this?
Yeah, to say this is a very big topic between myself and my brother in London. So he's always like, yeah, a very, very big topic. Even I still had a question about that this morning from a friend from Senegal. She works with the IFC, with World Bank. The same question, like, how do you guys do it? I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the question is always more or less about how did we do it? My apologies. How do we do it? Is there anything like that in France? I mean, but like Mr. Jibra said, for now, I just try as much as possible not to even think about it personally, because I mean, coming from where we all come from, I mean, we're all Blacks at the end of the day, so I didn't grow up with that. So unfortunately, I do respect people here that had to go through that. Because it's not easy. A lot of things that we as kids, when we were growing up, never experienced. They did experience it. They were made to feel like a second fiddle, So, and we're lucky not to have that mentality. If I didn't get in class, I didn't get the A not because anybody hates me or because of my color, it's because maybe I needed to study more. So, and that's the same approach I have here as well. So all the times, even my colleagues can tell you, all the times that we applied for funds and we never got it, right away, I just don't think about it. I just feel, and if you look at it really well, sincerely, I mean, in all fairness, there's actually 1 or 2 things that you didn't do well, and you need to go back. And even if they would have given it to a white boy, trust me, you would have learned a lot from that, and you'd be better off. So it's nice that they didn't even give it to you. Unfortunately, they should have probably would have given it to you. I've never been white, so I don't know. But the truth is, at least I've known a couple of instances where we were rejected for certain funds. However, when they go back and we go back to look at what we've done, we've always discovered that truly we have a point. They do have a point. Maybe there was an X that was supposed to be there, or it's not meant to be for this category of people. Clearly, there's always a point. Yeah. I always tell people this. I mean, for my people that I've heard this a lot. Maybe you've heard this as well. That if you go in a battle, in the boxing ring with a white guy, I'm sorry to use that word, maybe it's not something we use often in France, but that's reality. If you don't knock him out, he wins. Because if it's going to be on point basis, you might not be announced as a winner. And that's the reality. So it's all about us knowing that we need to go the extra mile. It's all about us knowing we need to put an extra work. It's all about us knowing that if I'm an immigrant, my name is Ayola. It's not Jean-Pierre. I'm looking to have a Dominic in my name. So at the end of the day, I'm who I am. So I have to run the race. If I've run 3 times, more than an average dude that grew up here, whether it's French, whether it's Black, I will have to, because I know where I'm going. So basically, I don't want to bother. I don't want us to think about the bias or anything. I just want us to just go hard. I'm supposed to go hard. I don't see barriers. I didn't even know why you're telling me no. That's the fortunate part. When you say no, I go back and see a reason why you tell me no, and I come back for a yes.
Whoa, thank you so much. I learned a lot from that, and I'm sure it addressed the question of the individual. I think it's a mindset that you don't
correct.
see
Correct.
racial bias. Like, if you pay attention to it, you look for it, you would see it. But if you go with the mindset that, you're just doing your stuff, you actually naturally don't see it. People can point it out to you and you're like, oh, okay, was that what the guy was trying to do? But you don't see it. No. I think it's a mindset. And thanks for sharing your thoughts on this. For Ajibola, are all the funds you discussed available to Nigerians in France? Are there conditions that Nigerians must meet to access them?
Okay, so I can't say for sure if every one of them is available to Nigerians, but then you ask yourself, would you as a Nigerian with just a visa go and ask for €1 million? I don't think so. So obviously it means you need to have some kind of documentation that gives you the right to even go and ask for such funds. So that means you are no more a student, obviously, and probably you're on vie privée familiar, or you are already an entrepreneur with, you already have some kind of titre de séjour that allows you to do stuff like that. But I would just say that whichever the case is, you need to try. You need to try. That is the first thing. We should not, like Dominic said, Ayola said, don't look at the Nigerianness, don't look at the black or white or whatever. If you have a product that you think would sell, even if you cannot go to maybe the French regional government or wherever, the EU is there. As long as you are resident in France, the EU is there as well to help you, and the information are out there. You never know where you would go and you would get the funding that you need. So I would just say go for it, but obviously not with just a visa on your passport. You should have some kind of decision at least, or if you are French, then makes it all better.
Thank you so much, Ajibola. I'm sure the person who asked the question has got his answer or her answer. The next question is, please, can you give me the address of Pôle Emploi here in Paris? I went on Google. I couldn't find it. Please do send me any office address. Thanks. Okay. Maybe you can post that, Ajibola, on the chat if you have that. Otherwise, I'm sure it should be something we can easily find. Okay, but if you have the answer, maybe you just address that so that I don't. Ajibola.
Okay.
Or
so
anybody.
I don't know.
You can answer that.
I just checked quickly on my phone here, and there are lots of Pôle Emploi offices in Paris. Almost in every arrondissement. So, but if you want, I can put it on the chat box for anybody who would like to just pick it up from there. But it's easily available. Just put Pôle Emploi Paris, that's all. And it gives you all the addresses and directions to the place. So.
Okay, thank you so much. Then the next question says, thanks for this session. I thought your business must be based in France to be able to raise funds. I assume this is for Ayola. So you created a solution to a problem at any part of the world. I think they just want you to share whether you must be in France to raise funds.
Good question. That's a very, very valid question. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they just need to see the French value. So if your revenue is all for Nigeria or Ghana or Kenya or wherever you're from, and there's really no link to France, your chances are very slim. And so clearly, you should have your HQ here in France. Unfortunately, you school here, so you can actually take advantage of that. They just want to see you have a perspective, a global perspective. So what are you doing exactly? Do you want to do it in Nigeria? Do you want to open franchises across? You have businesses that have franchise in Nigeria, that have franchise in South Africa. So maybe that's your goal, that's your dream. You need to put it on paper, articulate it, and then you can go to the French government for that. At the end of the day, all the revenue will be consolidated here. All the revenue will be consolidated in France. And so therefore you are paying salaries in France, you're earning your salary. So if you have a brilliant idea, think about it in a global way. Don't make it too small. I still tell people that Nigerians were so talented. Like every day you go online, we're complaining about no dollar in the country because we have a market that caters for itself. Now, I keep telling people that we need to see more of pepper soup that people can order for on Amazon and people get dollars at home. Things like that, like packaged pepper soup that you can make, like stuff that people want to eat, kuli, that people want to take abroad. And this is a huge opportunity out there for diaspora. You just want to order like Amazon, get it in your house. You don't necessarily have, but these are things that are lacking. It's so really hard to get all these kind of things. You feel like people with your Nigerian friends or your African friends go on Amazon Park in 3 minutes is there or Uber Eats. And these are things that people can do back at home to generate dollars. But because they do it to themselves, but they can expand. So this kind of business, if you have an idea for such businesses in France, of course you're making dollars, you're generating dollars because they pay dollars. They earn dollars in Nigeria. So these are things you can think about. And I really don't think, so to answer your question, you don't necessarily have to, you must have your headquarters here for sure, but you have to think in a global way. Maybe you need some people to help you think in a global way, creating franchise businesses, but you have to have your headquarters here. As long as it makes sense and they can see revenue and they see market opportunity in what you're doing, trust me, you get the funds. And truly, not all funds are made for you, like Mr. Jibola said. You need to read those stuff. Some are for tech, some are for trade, some are for exports. So you need to understand which one is meant for you, and then you tailor your application towards that particular funding. And I think that's it.
Wow, thank you so much for your response. And then yeah, so somebody also made a comment which I thought I should just point out. As regards to the last question, that's from Victoria. Your solution was for Africa. There is no power shortage in Europe, so the cooler will not be needed as much in Europe. That was not a problem. Well, you did mention that you had orders from Carrefour and Auchan, and these are big French retailers.
I didn't get the question actually.
I guess it was trying to respond to the one you addressed, that maybe because the solution. Okay, well, I don't know. Victoria, if you don't mind, you could unmute yourself and.
Oh yes, please. Thank you for this opportunity. Yes, like the Auchan and the Carrefour orders, I can imagine why. My question is actually, your target was Africa because coolers are like for Africa. So why? How did you present yourself to be able to access those funds since you're not solving a solution in Europe? And then how did the Auchan and the Carrefour were able to like make orders from you? Because I don't think I'll buy a cooler while I'm living in Europe. Okay. So are you paying tax here?
Except you're going for summer in the hot sun
okay. Yeah, but summer
around
we have cooler bags. And that is very complicated for Africa. That is for like no lights, no generator. Yeah, when we're going for summer, we have kind of cooler bags. So are you paying? Is your money coming in straight to the France government when they pay you from Africa? You're paying tax here. Maybe that was the reason how we were able to access the funds. Otherwise, how did you present your case?
Thank you, madam. So I'll take it from 2 angles. So first of all, for those that know Coolbox, so we started with a small cooler, which is for summer. So we had speakers, we had chargers, so we had LED bulbs. That was how we started. That was our first innovation. So if you remember my presentation, I said we started with coolers and we sold in over 70 stores. Carrefour was one of them. So that was our first product. So you're very right. Our first initial target was Europe. And then we're trying to solve a problem. We're trying to evolve. And that's when we discover another huge opportunity. And rather than face the want market, which is people using it for luxury. We decided to focus on the need market, which is where people needed to survive. And that was how we pivoted. So you're right. We started with the European market, and then we pivoted to the global market, which is emerging markets. That's first. So, but secondly, why did I say what I said? I said it because of one particular reason. Because now we're still raising funds. And they are not saying that because we are focused on Africa, that we're not able to raise funds. As long as your business makes a lot of sense and you have the profit to show that you'll be paying a lot of taxes in France, which is what they're interested in, and you'll be hiring people in France as well, you stand a great chance of getting the funds for your business. I'm not sure if I'm clear.
Yes, thank you. You're clear. So one piece of advice: you need to do a business, you must find a problem in Europe first, because we have a lot of business ideas, but really, truly, it's for Africa. So trying to go around settling a solution in Europe has been a problem for me, especially.
No. You don't have to, because we started that way, and fortunately, even today, these same channels are still the same channels we approach for funding. So like I said, for different categories of businesses you have, if you go on BPI, you would see them. If you go on all those stuff that Mr. Ajibola shared, you will see one for your business. They will tell you a business. I mean, people have headquarters here and they have franchise businesses in Nigeria. CFAO, the big CFAO, the African, I can't remember CFAO, but they do cars, they are distributors. It's a French company, but it's for Africa. The AO is Africa Organization. It's for Africa, but it's a French company. So they distribute all over Africa. They're in Nigeria, they're in Ghana, they're in Ivory Coast, but they have nothing at all. They have staff in France. It's just to manage their finances and their HQ. Every other thing is based in Africa because it's CFAO. You can Google CFAO in English. CFAO, so you can go see, you will see what I'm talking about. They're a huge conglomerate, but they don't have any sort of business. All their trading activity is based in Africa. So if you have a business, for example, if it's kuli that you want to sell, and you have a good business plan, like Mr. Jibola said, and you have done your budgeting, trust me, as long as it makes sense and they see the opportunity. And you know one thing now, the opportunities in Africa, the opportunities in emerging markets. I mean, what's there to be done in Europe anyway?
So, I'd like to thank you very much. We're actually running out of time and there are a few more questions. I can feel your passion for Africa. And I love that. Now, there's another question. We have about 7 minutes. No, we don't even have up to 7. We have just 4 minutes to go. But there are about 3 more questions, if I'm not mistaken. And the next one is great innovation on the Coolbox idea. I was wondering how affordable this product is to the market women and how you were able to market this. I would please beg you to just take 1 minute for each of the questions left so that we can finish them.
I can talk, I know I can talk, so I'll make it really short.
All right.
So yeah, so for the affordability, they pay in installments. They pay as low as 30,000, 40,000 naira spread over 4 years, sometimes spread over 3 years. So during that period of time, we assist them. So they enter their codes, they buy codes like tokens every month. So that token, they enter it in the refrigerator. It lasts 30 days. And once that finishes, they have to buy another one. So that is what we've been able to do to ensure that it's affordable to them. So they're able to pay in installments for a long period of time.
So you spread 30,000 over this long?
Like 500,000 naira over like 4 years. So they can pay an average of 30K to 40K a month.
Okay, I see now.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they pay, but when they want to pay, just like buying a recharge card in Nigeria, you buy that recharge card, 30 naira every month or 30K, you have the code, you enter it on your refrigerator, and it works for 30 days. Once it finishes, you buy another recharge card. So that is how we'll be working with them in Nigeria.
Oh, lovely. Okay. And then if they stop paying, you just recover your product.
After you don't for 1 month or 2. Yeah.
No time. All right. So the next question for Ayola is, a lot of us think we can launch very innovative products like you did, but it can be hard to break out of status quo, e.g. your current job. What's your advice? I think it's tied to the next one. Maybe discussing how you decided to quit other things to focus on Coolbox might help.
Yeah, mine was out of the fact that I was already tired mentally. I was personally, it was like I've given so much, and I think I could do better. And I'm quite creative, just like you, wherever probably a very creative person, and you see this is drive that you want to just do something, So that was just it for me. And then at that point in time, maybe I had a boss that I didn't really like. Things were not really going as well as I would have thought. So I just thought to myself, I mean, what's the point? You go to work, you're not happy. You go to work, you're thinking about, and these things you can actually do yourself. So I didn't even think about it twice. Like after that happened, I just looked at myself, my parents, of course, parents were, you have to be careful. Status quo, friends, But at the end of the day, man, you tell yourself, who is living the life? Is it your parents or you? Or your friends or you? If you're not happy, you don't want to, in the next 80 years, 85 years, when you're about to die, you don't want to look back and regret. I don't have as much money. I tell everyone, I don't have as much funds. Because it's my heart. I've slept on the floor. I've had to sell my stuff in the past just because I started a business. It's not going to be easy. It's a die-hard world. But the truth is, anytime I wake up this morning, even if it's on the floor, or wherever I sleep, I'm happy. There's that joy that comes from within, that you know where you're going. Because you want to build. It depends on what you want to build. If you want to build a conglomerate, you want to build a billion-dollar company. So you all have visions. So if you see yourself in that light, please strategize, calculate, and write it down every day. I need to show you my board, man. Right here, I've got papers all over the TV because I've got TV in front of me. So I've got papers I stick on the wall, things that I want to achieve. I wish I could turn my camera, you can see. Maybe I should try actually. You would see all stickers all around the TV. These are things that I put on my mind I'm going to do, and the year I want to do them. As little as wanting to buy my uncle a house, as little as that is all on my TV. Because every time I wake up,
That's little. Wanting to buy your uncle a house.
It's not professional. It's personal, So I think it's something, yeah. I mean, personally, these are things that you want to wake up, you think about. Is a great guy, somebody that probably helps you want to give back. So as little as that, not professional, those are things that you want to put and then put it on the paper. And I'm sure if you do that, you would be very happy. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. There was one final question. We need to launch a poll just to be sure that just to get your comments on the effectiveness of this session. We're already 1 minute past time. There's a question for Ajibola, and then there's a question for you, Ayola. How do we get access to you for one-on-one mentoring session? And then, okay, so maybe you just take that in 30 seconds. Then we take one question for Ajibola and we close.
I'm dropping my mobile here. However, you can be rest assured that I only pick calls much later, like maybe 11. And those that know me know it. If it was those good old days, yeah, it'd be good to have a coffee or something outside. That would be the best. But please feel free to shoot me a text message in the evening, like 10:30, 11, because then I'll probably be off work and then we can have a chat. Well, earlier might be tough, but 11:30, 10:30, 12, 1 a.m., feel free. Earlier, if I don't respond, because all of these meetings, yeah. But be sure that I will definitely reply you. I'll be very happy to help. I'll be very, very, very happy to let you know more. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for making yourself open to the community to be mentored, to learn from. To learn from you, get some mentoring for business. And then, Ajibola, this question is for you. Great to know there's a Nigerian restaurant in Lyon. Where is it located? How were you able to start a restaurant during the pandemic while most are closing?
Okay, so
1 minute.
First, it's not a Nigerian restaurant. It's an Afro-Pin restaurant, which is a fine dining restaurant with an African setting. And we only offer some Nigerian dishes. It doesn't necessarily make it a Nigerian restaurant. We actually have revisited dishes. And it's based in Memos Pinel. If you're in Lyon, you would know Memos Pinel. And basically, to the starting was a bit awkward because we had to do some private dining because of the COVID restrictions. And I got help from my colleague, my former colleague, talking about networking from the Paul Bocuse Institute. They were very, very less busy because of the closure. So we were able to do some work together. And that was how we started pushing things. Currently, it's closed because of fine dining restaurants. We cannot serve. We don't serve takeaway and all that. It's strictly dining, lunch and dinner. So it's currently closed, but we are working to make sure that we are ready to go once the restrictions are over. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much, Jibola. Before we close, we'll be launching a poll here on Zoom. Please, as soon as you see it, just respond to it, and then we can move on. Also, you could do the same poll on the link we shared for Q&A. So please just go there and answer the poll question. It's just about getting to understand what your thoughts are concerning how this session met your expectations. And while we're getting this feedback, I would like to thank you especially, the two of you, Ayola, Dominic, and Ajibola, for taking time out to be part of this event. And one thing I want to assure you is that this is not a waste of your time. I'm sure you saw the future, you saw a possibility in your experiencing impacting lives. And that is also what drove the people who came to join this session. They wanted to have an opportunity to interact with you with the intention to learn from you and be able to transport the lessons, your experiences into their businesses. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming for this show and also for your willingness to share as you have done. And I would want you to check again with us, check again with participants, and you'll be sure that there'll be testimonies to these things you have shared. There'll be businesses coming forth from these things you have shared. And I think at least that's one of the things that fulfill me as a person if I'm able to impact. I think when you begin to hear these things, I think you'd be happy that you were part of us today. Once again, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank the FON. I'd like to thank the business committee for organizing all of this together for working together to organize these things. I also want to thank you all, those who participated, for choosing to be part of this. One of the things that will give us the greatest joy is that 5 years, 10 years down the line, we already have a very robust network of Nigerians who are doing innovative things like Ajibola and Ayola. And we can easily just reach out to you and say, hey, I was the one who were in that event where you spoke, and there's this person who wants to do an internship in technology. And then we can easily reach out to you, or maybe there's a business that needs to scale, and then we just say, Ayola, please, we need your expertise on this. Can you help this guy, move past this glass ceiling? So to the greatness of Nigeria, to the greatness of ourselves, to our better selves, to who we can be. I'd like to thank you all for being part of this. I don't see the poll for the Zoom. I'm not sure if I missed it. The poll that should come up on Zoom. Okay, well, I think the one for Slido is the one that is showing up. So if you click on the link that we posted on the chat, please just go there and fill and submit that. On this note, I'd like to thank you all for participating, and the meeting is officially closed. I want members of the business committee to wait behind so that we can discuss further.